Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time of day it is that you happen to be watching this video. I am Mr. Wonderful here for another Meatball movie review, and today we are talking the big worldwide release. Well, it's been released worldwide, but the big release here in America this weekend, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which is the follow-up sequel to the smash hit, surprising smash hit, Jurassic World. This one returns Chris Pratt as his character Owen, also returning Bryce Dallas Howard as Claire, and this time around Owen and Claire go back to the island because they need to help the dinosaurs escape the island before the volcano explodes, leaving them extinct for the second time in history. Just going to dive right into it. The things that I liked about this movie, I love the question that this movie brings up throughout. It brings up a lot of cool questions. One of those questions is, does dinosaurs have the same human rights, animal rights, the same type of rights that, say, cats and dogs, just any type of animal in captivity kind of has, or just really any type of living creature has? What type of rights do they have? I love the question of how far do we go with engineering and genetic modification and science, and how far do we take science as well. I think the movie does a good job at asking those questions and does a good job at explaining some of the answers of those questions. Specifically as well, some of the things that I do like is the direction of this movie and the way that J.A. kind of does certain things. And I think that he's able to do some things that Colin wasn't able to do in the first one, and that a lot of movies don't do at times, which is he was able to answer these questions and ask these questions and show you answers to these questions without having to sometimes say these things. And there's one specific scene that I have in my head that I won't tell you because this is all non-spoiler, but it does a very good job at kind of showing you ramifications of these questions and kind of stuff like that. Great uses of the set pieces in this film, specifically the gyrosphere sequence in this movie, where they call back to the first one with the gyrosphere. Great use of the set piece in that. And it just does a great job at using these set pieces, destroying these set pieces, and just very good action drawn from that. And as well, the action is, I really think the action's done well. I've seen some people criticize the action, which confused as to what drew the criticism of it. I do like the fact as well that this film holds back a lot on the quippiness and the comedy that the first Jurassic World film took, and it's still in there. There's still some moments of hysterical moments and some real funny lines, but it tones it down compared to the first one. And that's a thing about this movie as well, is things that you did not like, because I know there are people that did not like certain things about the first one. They do a good job at fixing those things that people didn't like about the first one. We'll dive into whether or not that means if you didn't like the first one, you should see this one in a little bit. But I like that. I like the less quippiness of it, the more straightforward kind of story that it's telling this time around, and this kind of serious tone at moments that Jay gives it. I mean, again, comedy is there. There's a great sequence involving Chris Pratt and the lava that comes about that, again, non-spoiler review, so you'll have to see it in order to understand what I'm talking about. Again, the opening sequence is fantastic to this film. The opening line of the movie as well kind of establishes as well a lot of the fun that's about to come in this movie as well with the calm down. It's not a spoiler to tell you the opening line of the film, but just that simple line kind of establishes it's okay. We're going to go there, and we're going to have some fun going there. Almost all of the deaths this time around are earned. One thing that has, and the more that I've rewatched Jurassic World, the more it's bothered me. You don't have a moment similar to what happened with Claire's secretary in the first film, where she gets this long, drawn-out, very aggressive death sequence to her when she didn't earn it and she didn't deserve it. This time around, those aggressive, long, drawn-out kind of moments of the dinosaurs getting to the bad guy, earned. Stuff is earned this time. The deaths are earned this time. The deaths feel like they deserve to happen the way that they happen. So much fun with that. Now, again, there are some things about this film that didn't necessarily work for me. One of them as well that I'm just thinking of right now. Just the opening logo this time around. There was something about the way that they did that opening logo sequence. I felt like it was something that I can produce for you on Apple Movie while doing these reviews. It just was like, oh, okay. Thanks, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So that's just one of those things. Some of the dialogue to me was lazy as well. And you'd expect that in a film like this that's a summer blockbuster. But one specific line of dialogue, and this isn't giving away anything because you know the island's going to blow at some point. I mean, it's in any form of marketing you've seen. It's in the synopsis of the film. But just when they get to the island, there's a whole, like, sequence of, oh, man, it's so hot here. And Chris Pratt just goes, it's about to get a lot hotter. As he looks at the volcano that's smoking at this point and has some lava flowing out of it. And I'm like, that's really corny and really cheesy, but again, it's a summer blockbuster. It's kind of what you're paying to go see. It's going to have those moments. But I know I was sitting there, I was like, chill out, Indiana Pratt. Chill out with the quippiness and the it's going to get a lot hotter. As I look at that mountain that we all know is going to erupt in this sequence because you showed me in the trailers. And that's another thing that I didn't like is I feel like the marketing didn't help this movie because a lot of things that were really cool in this movie were given to you or teased to you in marketing. So if you've seen any form of marketing, you've seen a lot of really cool moments in this movie. There are a lot of moments that were left out that are really great as well. But you see a good portion of a lot of things that it's kind of like maybe you should have rethought the marketing aspect of how you did your trailers and your TV spots and all of that. Some of the other bad things, well, really one other bad thing is that it just falls into the sequel tropes at times. And as far as Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films go, it is the fifth film. Keep that in mind. You've seen this 4 other times going into this. And you're going to see it 5 times before you go see Jurassic Park 6 in 2020 or 2021, whenever the third of this franchise comes out. But that's just some of the bad things that I didn't like. It's just little things for me. Overall, though, this is step-by-step the blueprint for what a Hollywood blockbuster is. So if you are a fan of... And I should say Hollywood blockbuster as in, this is step-by-step a good Hollywood blockbuster. This is not a Transformers Hollywood blockbuster of we're just going to have things blow up and loud noises. This goes somewhere. And it intends to go somewhere. And it does grow on the previous film. I mean, Claire this time around, instead of the heartless, just running a park, is more of a, I believe that these animals are animals now. Where in the first film, she didn't think the dinosaurs were animals. And she did all the villain things in the first film, but we were told she was the hero. Where this time around, she is more the hero. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed kind of diving a little bit deeper into the characters, seeing where they were, stuff like that. They didn't do a bad job with that. But overall, again, this is kind of a step-by-step blueprint of what a Hollywood buttery popcorn blockbuster movie is. It doesn't do anything too groundbreaking, but then again, does do some things that are different from what you have seen previously in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films. So it does manage to stay fresh as well for its 2 hours. Just keep the expectations, again, in check. This is the 5th film of a franchise. So keep those expectations of what you're expecting in check. And I guarantee you'll have a great time at the movie seeing this film. I do think it is a movie that you should see in theaters. Again, it is made for the summertime at the movies to go and enjoy 2 hours of action and dinosaurs and things going absolutely wrong when they should go wrong. I give this movie, though, 4 out of 5 meatballs. If you have been following my meatball movie reviews since the days that I used to write these before doing videos, you know I gave the original 5 out of 5, Jurassic World. And Jurassic Park is still my all-time favorite of these films. But this is a nice in the middle. This is a good middle gapper to this trilogy that they're telling. Again, it enhances on a lot of the things from the first one. It does some cool things. And it is a fun summertime movie. So 4 out of 5 meatballs from me. And I hope you head on out and enjoy this movie this weekend. And let me know what your review is in the comments section below. You can shoot me the tweet on Twitter at wonderful_radio as well. Love talking movies with you guys, so please feel free to share your opinions. That's why I share mine, so that you can share yours, and we can discuss these things, and we can therapeutically talk through these things. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments section below and on my Twitter as well. Until then, you guys have a great week and enjoy the movies.